Hello folks, and welcome to Cedar Creek Homestead. Out here today, I finished up my grow out pen. I finished up my grow out pen. I have a video on it, working on it, or this video of working on it, I guess I should say. It's took me 2 or 3 evenings. I worked on it pretty good while one evening, and I've kept working on it, but I've got it pretty well finished now, and I was going to show it to you. And what this is for baby chicks. When they get too big for the brooder, I like to have a pen for them to go into, because they're still too small just to turn loose in with the big chickens, big guineas, whatever I've got. So I'm going to take you in here and show you what I've got going on here. This grow out pen, I actually built this when I built this chicken yard here for my hens. I built it, I call it Starlock 13, if you've ever watched Hogan's Heroes. That's where they stay at, and it's supposed to be secure, but it really isn't as secure as the Commandant thinks it is. So anyway, probably the way with my Starlock 13, it's not as secure as I think it is. But what I want to do is protect them at night, and so when I built my hen house down here at the end, I built a rectangular shaped pen. I just never did finish it. So now I've got it finished, and all I need to do was cover one end of it so they can get in out of the dry. And I got roost fixed up and stuff, and I've got a concrete deal poured all the way around it. I'm going to do a little more work on this one end over here before long, but I want to fix it just a little bit more secure. But I don't think anything can get in here to them. I think they're going to be in pretty good shape. So anyway, I got the pen fixed up, and but this is kind of an intermediate area for them to go. Now I'll keep them in here a month or so, and when I think they're big enough, maybe 2 months, may just wait till fall, but I'll mix them in with the adult birds, and that way they can get used to the real world the way it's going to be. But in here, they'll be fed extra, watered extra. I bought 10 guineas and 3 ducks that are ready to go in this, and I've got 15 or 20 pullets that I don't think's big enough to put in here right yet, and I'll probably keep them in the brooder another week or so, but they'll be ready before long to get in here. But I was going to show you what I've got built here, and this is the pen here, and I've got this 2x4 wire. The guineas that I've got to put in here and ducks are big enough they shouldn't go through this. But just in case, I've got some heavy duty, that little square wire around the bottom. Over around the rest of it, I've got chicken wire down up so high. So to keep them from getting out. Also, if they was to stick their head through, if there was a varmint out here, it couldn't grab them by the head. I've seen animals get ate up that way before. So it protects them from that. And this was some spare wire that I had here, so I thought I was out of chicken wire. I wasn't, but I buy up chicken wire when it's cheap and store it up when it's on sale in like 50-foot rolls. Well, I thought I had used my last roll, but I found I got a whole nother roll here that hadn't been used, which is fine. I'll use it on another project. But I had this piece here left over from a project I had, so I put it here. And right here at the gate, I have a piece right here. As you can see, the gate's going to close around here like that, and I can latch them. Right here's my little homemade latch. And what this is for, the reason I've got it up high like that, now I have to step over to get in. As I get older, I may have to cut that down a little bit. May not always be able to step over that, but right now I can step over it. And what that's for is your little babies want to run up here. When you go to feed them, they're going to run up here, and you don't want them running out of the pen on you where you got to catch them. So that kind of keeps them in there until I'm ready to move them. I won't let them free range any until later. And then over here I've got my watering troughs, and I got a pan here with water in it. I'll put a little more in there, but the first day or so, because the ducks aren't used to water, those 3 little ducks, so I'm going to have them in here and let them play in that puddle. They can get in there if they want to, play around. That's what that's in here for. And then over here is my little chicken water. Now, it was kind of dirty, and I washed it, and some dirt's come loose, but it will be fine for them. Anyway, you put this little cap down there when you're filling it. And when you take that cap off, you want to make sure the water quits running. If it keeps running, it's because your lid isn't on here good. I bought that water there at least 10 years ago. I didn't put a date on it. A lot of times I will. But that thing has held up very well. I've had some of these that the cap gets knocked off and lost, so I keep that cap on there really tight so it don't disappear on me, because that's the trick to filling this thing up. But if you got this lid right, the water won't run out. It'll stop and just have a little bit of water in there. But if that lid gets messed up, or you cross thread it, the water will just keep wanting to run out. So you always want to watch that if you're using one of these type of waters, that don't happen to you. I also got it laid on metal, and the reason I put it on metal is because try to keep it clean. Now, duckies, if you know anything about ducks, they're notorious for messing stuff up. So this waters are not going to stay clean. But the grass isn't growing out here real good. The chickens were where they could come in here and scratch around, so that I've had them locked off of this for a week or so, and the grass is starting to come out. But still, those chickens, those little ducks will want to get in here. Also, because I've got chickens in here, later I'll have chickens, I'll have to watch this. Now right now, because it's these guineas and they're pretty good size, I'm not worried about them drowning in this little tub of water, and I don't have a lot of water in it anyway. But the ducks, they're getting big enough, if they get in it, they'll be able to get out with no trouble, and so forth. So anyway, this is my pen. I got the roost built back here. I got a little walkway here that they can help get them up. I'll need to put some little slats probably across that to assist them in getting up there, but the guineas are big enough that they'll be able probably just to fly up here. But they'll be able to roost on this at night, and they have shelter to keep them out of the rain. Guineas, when they get grown, can survive right out in the rain. They'll roost up in a tree or whatever. Then I have my feeder over here. I've got it in the dry here, so they'll get probably full feed, all they want to eat, until I take them out of here till they get grown, so that they grow well and do good. But this thing is ready for some birds. Anyway, that's my grow pen that I've built. I've built different pens like this through the years, not one quite this big or this nice, but I've always had pens and they want to rot and tear down, and I've used treated lumber on this. Some folks are totally opposed to treated lumber. If you are, don't use it, but I use treated lumber, and I've put it in here, and as a hopefully that this pen will outlast me is my plan. I want to be able to use this in my rocking chair years. If God wills me to live a long life, I plan on raising chickens and animals clear up through the years, so I'm building something that will last. I still have a few little things I want to do to it, little knickknacks here and there, but it will be able to hold whatever I want to put in it pretty much. I'm thinking about getting some banties too, so maybe when these get big enough to go in the big guinea pen, I'll get some baby guinea or baby banties of some breed. There's so many breeds, I don't know which one I want, but anyway, I want to get some put in here, and that's kind of the grow pens, what I'm building. And main thing is, I would say, build something that you think's going to last, and do the best you can with what you've got at the time. If you build everything out of old junk material, old used material, why it's not going to last. And I want to build something that's going to last me through the years. This entire pen has chicken wire, and I use PVC pipe because it's lightweight, but it's strong enough. It's 1-inch PVC, so it's strong enough to hold this up, and so far it's doing a really good job. I've not got any complaints about it. And kind of an idea I had, one of these pipes I see is popped down over here. I didn't glue these little extensions here when I put my roof on, and I will, just haven't gotten around to it. But if they pop out, I just put them back. But so far, with all the leaves falling and everything, it doesn't weight it down. It'll weight it down a little bit, but the leaves and stuff eventually blow off of here, and it don't sag a whole lot, but it's tall enough that I can walk around and do what I need to do. And I got this big persimmon tree growing here, and I fixed wire around it so the chickens couldn't fly out, and hopefully varmints can't get in here, you know, get on the tree and climb down it like a coon or something. But you know, I need to work on it just a little bit. But I like this tree being here because I get plenty of shade and stuff like that. But anyway, that's my grow pens. Appreciate you watching. God bless you. We're gone.